The other day, a family member said to me, "I didn't think there was anything wrong with our relationship." I was stunned. In my mind, there are so many issues. I'm the one who always initiates everything. We talk maybe once or twice a year, and I never know what's going on in their life unless I reach out. And the truth is, if I stopped initiating, there would be nothing much between us. But in that moment of surprise, I was curious to understand why I thought like I did and they thought like they did. So I started looking into it because I wanted to finally figure out why I spent decades feeling lonely even when I was surrounded by people who are called family. And if you've ever felt that way too, there is a reason behind it. Welcome to Lessons for Life with Grandma Kate. If you want to stop yelling, end the daily power struggles, or manage your frustration better but don't know how, you're in the right place. I get it. I was there too. As a grandma, I finally started learning the emotional life skills I wish I'd learned at a younger age. Each week, I share simple, practical life lessons to help you develop social-emotional skills so you can be the calm, confident inspiration to others. You'll find today's lesson in the show notes as a blog post so you can revisit it or share it with someone who needs it. New episodes drop every Thursday, so hit that subscribe button. And hey, if something here speaks to you, leave a quick review to help others find these life lessons too. Ready to level up? Every week I'll send one life lesson straight to your inbox. 100 words, a 60-second read, pure inspiration. The link is also in the show notes. Like a lighthouse, steady and strong, let's all shine a little brighter today. Here's what we don't realize as adults. Most of our beliefs about relationships were handed down to us by our parents long before we were old enough to question them. We never learned what a relationship felt like. Instead, we learned what a relationship was labeled as. Growing up, we were told things like, "She's your grandmother, go give her a hug," or "There's your Uncle John, go sit beside him," and "She's your sister, you should be close." We learned that the label itself created the relationship, which meant we were supposed to behave accordingly, feel accordingly, and stay connected accordingly, even if our body felt something different, even if the relationship didn't feel emotionally safe and there was no genuine bond. So we grew up believing that relationships automatically equal connection, that if the label exists, the closeness should exist too. And that's where our pain begins. We assume the relationship should guarantee the connection, and when they don't match, we feel broken, too sensitive, or too needy. But we're not. We're just expecting emotional closeness where it simply doesn't exist. And that mismatch creates profound loneliness. Here's the truth that finally set me free. A relationship is simply the role someone has in your life. On the other hand, connection is emotional energy, safety, and that feeling of, I get you and you get me. And those two things don't always match. And once I started learning this, I realized that's exactly what was happening with my family member. Yes, we're related, but I don't feel a real connection like they do. I needed a way to make sense of all of this. So I started thinking about a way to sort it out in my mind and came up with what I call the relationship connection quadrant model. Imagine a big square divided into 4 equal parts, like a window pane. Then think of people in your life fitting into one of those quadrants. Quadrant 1 is relationship plus connection. Oh, this is the sweet spot where love, emotional safety, trust, and shared meaning live, such as with your spouse, or the brother you can be yourself with, the cousin who understands you without explanation, or the aunt who always has been a safe place. You might only have a few of these relationships, and that's completely normal. Quadrant 2 is relationship without connection. These are people who have a role in your life, like a parent, an aunt, a sibling, but with whom you feel no emotional closeness. This quadrant hurts the most because the label promises a connection your heart never actually receives. And yes, this can sometimes include your spouse or partner, especially if you're going through a rough patch, have accumulated resentments, or are both on healing journeys at different paces. Quadrant 3 is connection without relationship. Think of these people who come into your life like a breath of fresh air. You meet them at work, in a class, online, or in a waiting room and instantly feel safe and understood. There's no history, no expectations. You just click with them. Sometimes these become friendships, and sometimes they're brief moments that stay with you for years. And quadrant 4 is no relationship and no connection. These are the neutral people such as the barista, the neighbor you wave to. Nothing more is expected, and that's perfectly fine. Looking at my family member through this lens, I could finally see clearly. We fall into quadrant 2. For them, this level of contact probably works just fine. But for me, this is exactly why I felt such a deep ache. I'm looking for something mutual, reciprocal, emotionally safe, and genuinely connected. And that realization changed everything. I stopped asking, what's wrong with me? And started asking, how do I honor what's actually true here? The work shifted from me trying to change them to protecting my heart, accepting their limits, and building connection where it's actually possible. Once you see these patterns clearly, you can finally stop blaming yourself and start relating differently. Here's 7 ways that help me. Number 1, name what's actually happening. Instead of telling yourself you're too sensitive or too needy, start naming the relationship honestly. This feels one-sided. Or, this feels emotionally mismatched. When my family member said they didn't see a problem, I could finally name it clearly. We want different things from this relationship, and that's a mismatch, not a moral failing. Seeing the pattern clearly helps you stop reopening the same wound. And number 2, separate their capacity to bond from your self-worth. Relatives who struggle with emotional closeness often do so because of their own history, trauma, or lack of emotional skills. Their inability to connect is about their capacity, not about your value, your lovability, or whether your needs are legitimate. This doesn't excuse hurtful behavior, but it helps you to stop taking it personally. And number 3, reset expectations and boundaries. Give yourself permission to grieve the fantasy relationship you'd hoped for, and then decide what kind of relationship is actually possible with this person. Maybe it's staying in touch once in a while. Maybe it's scheduled check-ins. Or maybe it's only talking when absolutely necessary. Do whatever matches their emotional capacity so you're no longer cycling through hope and disappointment. And number 4, protect yourself in ongoing contact. Use what I call emotional seatbelts. Go into interactions reminding yourself of this person's limits. Choose what you'll share and what you'll keep private, and decide how long you'll stay. If you want more depth and they consistently shut down or dismiss you, the healthiest thing is to stop chasing what they cannot offer. And number 5, meet your need for connection elsewhere. Intentionally build emotional support through friends, chosen family, communities, or safe spaces so your well-being doesn't depend on someone who cannot meet you where you are, and so you can finally experience the reciprocity and emotional safety you've always deserved. Number 6. When one person wants more connection than the other. Try one clear and gentle conversation about how you experience the relationship and then pay close attention to their response. Because if they shut down or dismiss you, the healthiest thing you can do is stop chasing depth they cannot offer and instead redirect your emotional energy towards people who are truly capable of showing up. It's also important to talk here about when someone wants more closeness with you and you just don't feel it. That doesn't make you cold. Connection isn't something you can force or fake. You're allowed to want a lighter relationship even when the other person is kind and hasn't done anything wrong. What matters is how you handle it. Don't ghost or string them along with false hope. Set a gentle boundary with clarity and respect. You might say, I'm keeping things pretty simple right now, so I won't be able to get together often. You don't owe them a detailed explanation, but you do owe them honesty. Their disappointment is understandable, and you can care about their feelings without changing your boundaries. You can't be everything to everyone, and it's better to be honest than to keep someone stuck in your relationship with no connection when they deserve to find their relationship with connection elsewhere. One last thing I want to mention here that is vitally important about connection. What if you or your spouse lose that feeling of being close? It doesn't mean the relationship is over. A marriage or partnership can move between quadrants depending on the season of your life you are both in due to stress, life transitions, and challenges that can temporarily push you into a relationship with no connection. But with intention, you can move back to a relationship with connection. But that requires both people showing up. If you're the only one trying, follow the principles to protect your heart, adjust expectations, and build support elsewhere while you decide what's right for your future. You deserve mutual bonding and emotional safety, and sometimes that means finding it outside your biological family or recognizing when a romantic relationship needs professional help to move back into quadrant 1. And lastly, number 7, practice emotional parallel play. Sometimes a relative cannot have a deep bond with you. However, you can still create a more comfortable kind of closeness by doing something side by side that feels good for both of you, whether it's cooking, watching a show, working on a project, or going for a drive, because these low-pressure side-by-side moments can gently build familiarity and safety even if they never become your primary source of emotional intimacy. One of the best gifts we can give our kids is helping them understand early on what most of us didn't learn until adulthood, that a relationship and a connection are not the same thing. Kids often assume that if someone is a grandparent, uncle, or cousin, closeness should automatically happen, and when it doesn't, they think something is wrong with them. So start by normalizing their feelings. It's okay to be related to someone and not feel close. When your kids say things like, they never pick me, or I'm always the one trying, or they only talk to me when they want something, those moments are perfect times to explain that friendships can feel different and not everyone is meant to be a close friend. You can help them understand that not every relationship belongs in the same quadrant. Some kids are playmates, some become close friends, and some are simply classmates, and none of that reflects their worth. You can also help them understand that friendships can be seasonal. Sometimes they feel really close to someone, and then things shift as interests change or life gets busy, and that's normal too. Most importantly, Talk about your own boundaries in simple ways. Say things like, I care about that person, but we're not very close. Or, I keep some things private with them. When your kids see you move through your own quadrants with clarity and confidence, they learn to do the same. In conclusion, understanding these quadrants doesn't fix every difficult relationship, but it does something powerful. It stops you from blaming yourself for relationships that never felt right. You stop chasing connection with people who are emotionally unavailable. And you finally start honoring what your nervous system has been trying to tell you your entire life. For me, that means accepting that my family member and I exist in Quadrant 2, and that's okay. I don't need to fix the relationship. I just need to relate to it differently so it no longer keeps me stuck in loneliness and self-blame. And once you give yourself permission to see your relationships clearly, you can finally pour your energy into the connections that actually nourish you. Whether you're figuring out your own feelings, working through a tough moment as a family, or learning how to talk things through with others, you're practicing the emotional life skills that help us grow into the people we're meant to be. Listening is wonderful, but nothing changes unless you use what you've learned. So pick one life lesson from today and try it out this week. That's when the magic happens. And if you want to keep building your social skills, hit follow for more from Lessons for Life with Grandma Kate. If no one has told you lately, everything will be okay. Tomorrow is a new day, and with it comes new hope. As I conclude this episode, I must state that this podcast is designed solely for educational and entertainment purposes. While I bring my experience as a parent and grandparent, it's essential that you know I am not a licensed therapist. This podcast is not a substitute for professional advice from a physician, professional coach, psychotherapist, or other qualified professional. Got it? Awesome. Until next time, what is one thing you are grateful for?